Hi all, welcome to Workato Masterclass Series. Today we are going to discuss about design. So before we move into our today's session agenda, let's have a quick recap on what we have learned in the previous session. That is webbook in Workato. So we have learned what is webbook and how to use webbook in the recipe, and basically in the Workato. And also we have seen what is the difference between webbook and API, when to use webbook and when to use API, right? So if you have missed it, please go and check our previous session. I'll be giving the link in the description box, as well as you can click on the I button at the right of our video. So let's dig into our today's agenda, that is design. Why design is very important in the perspective of requirement, right? So when requirement comes into picture, so we have to refine those requirements into a chunk of data, means chunk of steps. That is called algorithm, right? So that gives a step-by-step process to be followed to get the end results. So in case of our Workato or in integration perspective, we have to find the trigger point. Whether we have to use schedule-based trigger, or whether we have to go for the application-based trigger, or we have to go for an API-based trigger, or we have to go for the data hubs. So these are the things we have to decide for the starting point. Action points comes into picture where you decide to the transformations or do any kind of data mapping before that, or you can do a parsing. So these all comes into picture question mark for us when without doing a design, right? So then we have to decide the end results. So for all these, collective way of doing is design. So design gives the refined way of doing the requirements or seeing the requirements. So what is the best practices to be followed when we doing a design, right? So understand the requirements clearly. It is very important to give or do a design. First, we have to understand the requirements, right? Second is a modular design. Like break the process into reusable components. Say example, why it's saying modular design is in perspective of integration is like where we can use a function call, or whether we can use a data model so that it can be reused, or we can use a message templates, or those things comes into picture. And the third is very important, that is error handling and logging. So implement a robust mechanism for tracking and recovering from failures. Say, whenever user gets an error, we should not say like inappropriate prompts or gives an error from the system generated. We should give a user-friendly failures, logs, or notification. Say what exactly happened in your failure case. Okay. And performance optimizations means considering data volumes and optimize for the speed and scalability, right? So our integration recipe design or a implementation should have a considering of the optimizations or a volume recovery. Means suppose our volume get increased or decreased, according to that our system has to recover. It has to get that particular withhold of that particular in the process, right? Suppose data volume got increased, then also should our integration work. And if suppose volume get decreased, also should work, right? So both the cases we have to be in the process how to do that, and speed and scalability is also important. And security is top priority for our any of the process, right? So without security, you cannot do any kind of or design perspective, right? So design has to be like following things has to be covered. So as security is a top priority, and error handling also is kind of a priority for the next security, right? So you have to check about encryptions. Can we do a secure APIs? Because APIs can be anyone. It's a public URL. If it gives that, anyone can access it, right? So if you not design with the security perspective. So documentations, that is keep a detailed record of workflows and integration for easy maintenance. So documentation is also important or priority work where to give a handover to the any other person who comes into picture. For example, when he see your integration, he has to understand the documentation first. Then he go for the design. Then he go for the implementation perspective, implementation work. So hope you guys understood what is design, why we need design, and what is the best practices to be followed for the design. Okay, integration design or any in general design. It's not only to the with respect to integrations. Also, you can use this particular points for your any design. Okay. Now we'll see a few requirements. Okay, that is like I'm going to show you the design for one of these things, and the other one you can do by yourself so that we can understand whether you are doing well or not. One thing, or you can comment out in the description, like in the comment box of a video, saying like this is what the design looks, or maybe you can check out like not we are stuck in somewhere. Can you help me out? Something kind of, so that I can take that particular requirements in the next session or a video that can explain the first half, and second half I'll be explaining about the integration design. There is a integration separate. There'll be a design which is meant for the integration, like point-to-point integrations, event-driven design, and also there's the API. So those all like can discuss in the next session. Okay. For now, I'll just take up this one of this particular requirements to make you understand how to approach a design before you going for the implementations. Okay, let's go to our design platform. Okay, understand which I'm using it, and also you can use that particular same design platform for your case. Okay, let's go there. So first we understand the requirement. So that first requirement is that is for Salesforce to SQL data sync. Requirement is sync the new or updated Salesforce contact to an SQL database. Ensure, second point is ensure real-time updates with a handling and retry mechanism. If an SQL row already exists, update it instead of creating a new one. Okay, this is first requirement. Second requirement is related to employee onboarding with Workday and Salesforce. Okay, now automatically create a Salesforce user records when new employee is added to a Workday. Okay, assign the employee to a specific role and department in Salesforce. Send an onboarding email via Gmail. Okay, so I'm taking the second requirement as a point of discussion here. Then we can discuss the second one after your approach is done, or suppose you is stuck in somewhere, I can take that particular requirement anyway in the next session. Okay, let's go there again. Okay, so as we see the design requirement is, so whenever there is a employee added in the Workday, then new employee, it has to come to our integration service. That means need a layer, and we have to create a sales or like create a user in Salesforce, and also we have to assign the role and department, and we have to send an email on the onboarding email, right? Now just think about a sequence diagram. So sequence diagram is a step-by-step process, and also it involves the user perspective. Say example, who are all involved in this particular integration. Say example, in this case, I'm just taking as HR or a Workday. You can take a starting from itself is from Workday. But to give you a background on basically the what exactly is Workday related is an HRS system. Like it's wherever you can do the related to employee records will be stored there. So wherever you can do there's a add employees happen in the systems, it will come it'll add into the Workday. So once the Workday is added, our trigger point has to be what? The Workday, right? Whenever there is a new employee is added into the Workday, it has to come to us, and it from there we have to take that particular user and add the into the Salesforce. Since our trigger point is always the new employee, hence there's no record checking off. There's no record of checking whether that particular user is present in the Salesforce already. Because since you may have a question like whether we need to check that particular record is there or not already in the Salesforce. But since our trigger itself is a new employee, and means it has to be created always in this workday system, always a new employee. Okay. And we have to assign role and department. Then after once assigned properly, like assign everything is proper, everything's done, we have to send an email with respect to onboarding. Okay. And also it's like in this perspective is like employee details, like to the employee to be sent an email, or you can send that email to HR saying like these are employee details are added to the Salesforce. You can go proceed further in your process progress on the employee. Okay. So this is about a sequence diagram. So you have to understand which are here in the sequence diagram. You have to understand what are all roles involved in this particular process. So each role will act as a pillar here, as a header for your design. Okay. Whereas in other perspectives like flow design. Flow design is a very straightforward, which you have to say if you not follow the sequence diagram, it's fine. If suppose you're not able to do first time. But the flow design is very simple, like you have to follow like what is starting point, what is the action part you have to do, and what is the end results. Okay. So this particular symbol shows it is starting point. And the same symbol if you see in the end as well. So in the middle, there's a square boxes that is called as process, which you have to select, like what need to be done. So here I have selected as this is a trigger point for us. It's a new employee to workday. When there's an option of adding once there is an sign of adding new employee in the workday that flow into our integration layer, and from integration layer we'll process that into the Salesforce. That's create user. Then we assign the role and department to the Salesforce in the Salesforce. Then we send a onboarding email. So here we can have a question like why we not have a error handling part here. So we can include that error handling part. Say example, we can add the one more box here. Say example, just add one more box here. And there is an option of can send it to back. Just click on this and arrange, send it to back. So now if you see, it's got went to back. So if this particular thing gives the process, which is involved in the process. These are all the steps which we involved in the sequence files. Okay. Suppose, is there any error comes? It's a general term. General, I'm just giving the example. That is, if any error comes, what need to be done? Okay. So I'm just telling error handling. Send an email to respective stakeholders. Okay. Or it's like in general. Or else what you can do is, since trigger point cannot be a failure, so here you can add the entire say example, the error handling. Suppose got failed in this particular thing, this process, right? And or you can add a overall error handling part as well as a one point. So it depends on how you want to design. Like example, in your perspective, say like no, like client requirements like no, if suppose there's any Salesforce error comes, we have to get a separate error for that you can do. Combine this particular thing, combine these two steps, this create Salesforce user and assign role and department in Salesforce. That you can do as a one particular point as a trigger, like a monitor and error block in the recipe implementations. Then you can have error handling separate for that. And in general, you can have a separate error monitor block on top of that. So whenever it recovers separately for your Salesforce, and in general, errors comes in picture, say that while not sending a mail, suppose any error comes, it also handles the general. This is one is you're creating error and monitor block for the Salesforce applications, and another is for your general email, or any other general errors in the recipe implementations. Okay. So hope you guys understood the sequence diagram and the flow design. So try to understand your requirements properly. Break down that particular recipe requirements into chunk of sequence like numbers, so that it will be kind of acts as an algorithm for you. Like what steps to be followed by next step, which step, right? The step 1, next step 2, step 3, step 4, followed by end results. So these are all steps give stuff starting. What is the starting point, and how to use that starting point as my trigger. That also very important to understand in your requirements. Okay. Since my requirement was to, when there is no add employee, new employees in Workday, we have to process it. Hence, my trigger point is what? It's application based. It's an event driven, right? I'll tell you this particular thing, event driven, API driven, and as well as the point to point in the next session, upcoming sessions. And also we'll cover the next other requirements as well in our design. You can verify your design with respect to mine. It can be different or it can be same. Different is not worry, because your perspective is different. See, there is no any one particular design to be followed. Anything can be followed, but if your trigger point and end results are same, that's very good. The middle way is doing is like the action part always be differs. You can do little bit different than others, but requirement has to be the design or implementations wise has to be based on your design. And the requirement has to give your whatever the base point is with respect to requirements. If your design matches with your requirements, then well and good. If not matches, that is wrong. Okay, that's not enough to matches with your design with the requirements. So that gives the overall view on the design and also how to approach the requirements into design. Okay, so now let's go back to our presentation part and give some quizzes part where you can understand what is the importance of design in perspective of what you have so far learned. Okay, let's go back to our presentation. Okay, here's the first question. What is the key benefit of modular design in integration platform? So the first of the four options is increases the error rates, promotes reusability and maintainability. Third is slows down the integration process. Fourth is reduces security. I guess it's a very easy and still a bit tricky questions, but I guess everyone answer this. Let me give you the answer. It promotes the reusability and maintainability. That's option B. Here's a second question for you. Which of the following is essential for ensuring the security of integrations? Options are high data volumes. Second is modular design. Third is data encryption and secure APIs. And fourth is skipping error handling. So when it comes to security, I think you are very familiar with the options. You can eliminate the other options and get the answer for that. Let me give you the answer for this. That is data encryptions and secure APIs. The third and final question is, what is the purpose of error handling in integration platform? So options are to bypass system errors. Second is to ensure better performance and reliability. Third is to increase system errors. Or fourth is to reduce integration times. It's a very, very easy questions. I guess everyone answer this. So to ensure better performance and reliability. Okay. So hope you guys, I think, enjoyed this session as well. For me, it's very interesting part of design. So hence I have enjoyed with you guys. So hope you will learn with along with your requirements. Whenever requirement comes to you, you also do the design and go along with that, so that it gives you a continuous process for your requirements to design to implementations, then testing, then deployment. Okay, so see you all in the next session. Until then, keep learning, enjoy your doing design. Thank you guys.